No.
We, about, 5 or 6 years ago now, we were having lunch at SOTA, School of the Arts, where me and Mr. Devine and Mr. McGrath and Mr. Harrison taught.
Well, we had started SOTA, so SOTA was operating and going well. In developing SOTA, we had developed partnerships with Metro Parks.
And the idea just came up that, couldn't we do a science and math school? And isn't Point Defiance Park the best place in the world?
Well, I didn't decide to teach at SAMI, I decided to start SAMI.
I think it's different because of everything where we are.
Mm-hmm.
The freedom that we have as teachers to listen to our students and to try and make things work as best as we can for them.
Yeah, I mean it's stressful and difficult, but it's also exciting. And I think we've done, like, for as much as I think I'm the kind of person that often sees things that aren't perfect and wants them to be better.
SAMI is different because, first of all, there's teachers believe in beyond the classroom. Teachers don't just want to sit in front of a board and just teach you this random book of learning. They want to actually have you understand. They want you to be passionate about what you're learning about. So I remember that one time Mr. Devine gave us notes in geology in the sand at the beach, and that's not something you would gain from another high school experience.
Well, our hope is to continue to move forward to solidify it. It's to offer greater and greater depth in not only the environmental field of sciences, but also in engineering as we develop some of those programs, and then in developing and building various facilities that encourage particular ways of thinking and creativity throughout the parks.
And what I gained from working at SAMI was it was an enlightening experience to know that there was a hands-on approach to learning. The kids were actually using the pagoda and actually going to the zoo and stuff like that, and I found that to be enriching.
It is not what you expect it to be. SAMI is everything we hoped it could be, and then not in some ways. When we look at, we're still for all the portables, but in all these other ways were all these things that we hadn't even thought of. So it's just this incredible journey.
I hope to gain something different. Like, everyone goes to high school and they have pep rallies, and they have all these sports events, and then they have just regularly structured high school events. And so I wanted to gain a sense of individuality. I wanted to gain how to see things differently. I wanted a different perspective. All high schoolers come out and high school is awful and terrible, and there was some good moments here and there. And when I came to SAMI, I wanted to gain all these memories and experiences that I would never have gotten if I had went anywhere else.
So my time here at SAMI, I've gained a lot. I've gained confidence in myself. I've learned how to take risks. SAMI is just, the community here is just so great, and they're really great at pushing you towards taking risks and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So that's something that's really helped me. Being on ASB and kind of taking a lot of leadership roles at this school. That's something I would have never done if I wouldn't have came here. And so SAMI has really pushed me to step outside of my comfort zone.
I have gained is ability to work with other people a lot better. So I think we have to, teachers have to work really closely together, and you're always talking and you're always seeing each other teach. So that's a big thing that I've learned.
It was a group of amazing minds that got together to say this is bare bones what a school is and does and how it should be different, and then from there we've added more perspective.
Miss Tinder came into my 8th grade math class one day and she was like, "Hey guys, you want to go to school at the zoo? Come to SAMI." So I was like, okay, that sounds like such a great opportunity, go to school at a zoo at any other school every day. And so I thought that was really cool.
I decided to come to SAMI because I didn't want to go to like a regular school. I wanted to go to a place that was like different. And I went to Bryant in middle school, which was like a Montessori school, so it was different than most middle schools. And so when Miss Cindy came to my school and was talking about SAMI and how it was going to be outside, it was going to be unique and creative, I was like, I want to do that. That's where I belong.
Because I'd watched Soda and I knew how important choices were, and I really believed in the vision behind it. And so when I had the chance, I jumped at it.
It was an exciting opportunity that most teachers would have to jump at to start a school from the ground up. I know a lot of my fellow teachers are frustrated by systems that they feel like they can't change. And being part of a school that's starting from scratch, I had the opportunity to kind of set things right from the beginning, which is really exciting. I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I knew there was no way I could pass up something like that. Also, I was teaching at SOTA, School of the Arts, before that, and I was a science teacher at the art school, so it was a great opportunity to be a science teacher at the science school.
The fact that it was a new program, and so you'd be starting everything kind of from the beginning, and that's kind of exciting as a teacher because you want to like make your own programs, you want to like have an effect on it, you want to do stuff that's different. So if you're going to a school that's already been around for like 10 years or 100 years, it's really hard to change things because there's a lot of inertia. So it was kind of exciting to be going to a place that had that as a possibility.
Building a school from the ground up is very, very, very interesting. Like, there's so many things. Like, you have to be flexible in what you're doing. You have to be flexible in, like, you can go to a classroom and be like, oh, we can't use the space right now, or like, there's no chairs. Like, we have to go find chairs. There was waiting for brand new textbooks to come and then having to use like online resources. It's just, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. Only because there were so many different experiences that I've gained. There's so many people that I wouldn't have talked to in like a regular environment just of how high school is structured.
I think it's inspired me to take more risks and to jump right into things.
I really take a lot away from students as well because you have all of these, I don't know, like opportunities in front of you and you're taking advantage of them, and that doesn't get old for me.
So the students have made a choice to come here and a commitment to come here. I think that's a huge choice because the students in their 8th grade year, 14-year-olds making a decision about their education, and that's not just good students, quote unquote, that can do that, but any student that makes that kind of choice, I think, has set themselves on a path to be better.
It's also different in that students, they have to apply to get in the program. There are references that they have to do.
Because we had 751 8th graders apply to come to schools like SAMI and SOTA this last year. 751. And we were only able to give spots to 280.
Watching you guys, how far you've come since freshman year, and how you came in as kids pretty much, and you're leaving as young adults, like just to watch that growth like really makes me feel like I'm helping and I'm part of something really special.
I think it's different because the students get to learn from being outside. They get to go from book work to actually hands-on.
It's that personal connection the teachers and mentors get to make with the kids. It reaffirmed my belief in the importance of that connection with a kid. My personal view of teaching is it's about 20% content knowledge on any given day. You got to know more than the kids, hopefully. About 40% of it is performance art. Got to make it entertaining, especially something like math. And at least 40% of it, on certain days, is that connection you make with the kids.
Fulfillment to know that I'm helping people and, you know, helping people grow up and go out into the world.
Well, I want students to gain that what I gained, and that is ability to go way beyond what you think you can do.
Community is the biggest one for me. I think that school shouldn't be viewed as a place you have to come, but a place that you have to come and you also want to come.
I find that students that have learned in a traditional school seem to excel here. They seem to do better. They seem to like school here a lot more. I know the parents say that the students are wanting to come to school all the time. I mean, even if we have our long breaks, they can't wait to get back here. They think the breaks are too long. So,
one of the greatest ways they can help us go on and go to school, be successful, and come back and contribute to their community.
And to put kids in a big box where it's completely unlike the real world. You have cliques and you have, you know, kids thinking that they're hard gangbangers, and you have kids dressing, you know, really inappropriately, and this like totally fake culture going on. And then at the 12th year, they're supposed to drop out into the real world and be prepared. Like, they're anything but. They're the farthest from being prepared. And it's not just a matter of their education, it's a matter of the culture and the community that's being built. So here we bring in internships, and we have kids traveling throughout the community from class to class, even during the day, rubbing shoulders with business people. And business people get to see high schoolers and what they're capable of. High schoolers get to see actual people that have jobs and what the expectations for behavior and all that stuff is.
Community. I know that a lot of high schools have that, but ours I think is built differently. Like we've really put a lot into a strong foundation of this is how we treat each other, and everybody here, although we're different, we celebrate differences instead of saying that they're going to hold us back. Our pillars, I think, make us what we are, and they're interwoven. So I think of them as kind of like almost like a teepee structure, that they're all coming together up at the top, and they're kind of what holds the base of our structure together. But if we were to take one out, everything would tip over, so that they're all intertwined and interlocking and equally important.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be up here in a couple months when we have our first graduating class. I think that'd be a good memory to talk about.
I think my favorite member of SAMI, and I think all of the seniors will agree, is Black Lake Camp. Being down there at Black Lake Camp, and everyone, and I know you're out there watching, you're going to say, we remember when Mr. Knuckles fell over in the lake. I did. I confessed. I did it. And so that has haunted me all of those years, you seniors. So that's my fondest memory.
I really enjoyed the Thanksgiving feast that we had in one of the first years when the school was still small enough that we could all fit at tables in the pagoda. And Mr. Knuckles and BG had the turkey carving competition.
Other than Mr. Knuckles falling in the lake? Oh, I like the opportunity we had to go on fractal walks through Point Defiance, or going over to the condo and having geometry students sketch a condominium complex being built, and looking for the geometric shapes and relationships in construction.
Well, I did my student teaching at the School of the Arts, and I realized that the philosophies there and the community that the educators and students there had built over those 10 years, was unlike any other high school that I had ever been to or been a part of. And I was actually really, really upset about ending my student teaching there. I remember in front of like their entire staff, my last day, I started crying because I didn't think that I was ever going to be able to find anything like that again. When we had our very first like picnic at the end of the year, and sitting down and making friendship bracelets with people. Remember that? Yeah, that was fun. And even before that, when we first did the barbecues in the summer, I remember riding the bus with Scout and Katie, and they looked so much alike, and they both just sat across from me and did this. And like wouldn't talk. It was like pulling teeth, and now they don't shut up. So, in a good way. But yeah, those are like some of my fondest memories.